Alright, so today we're going to put some architraves on, and I'm going to take you guys through the entire process and share with you a few tips on what I do every time I'm installing architraves. To start with, we're on this door here, and the very first thing I'm going to do is just grab my tape, and we're going to measure the internal dimension of the door jamb. So we have a look here, we've got exactly 817. So that 817 we just measured is going to be the in-between of where the arc's going. For every architrave I install, we've always got a 3mm quirk, which is pretty much a 3mm gap from the edge of that jamb going back that way. One thing you want to do is grab yourself a combo square, and we can hold it up there against the door jamb, and we're going to mark down that way and across there, and that's marking exactly where our architraves are going to go. So obviously that 817 isn't what we're cutting that first arc at. What we're actually going to do is add that 3mm to either side, which makes it 823. But the first tip I'm going to give you guys is, even though that should be 823, I never just add 6mm for those quirks. I always add 7. You want that 1 extra mil by the time you cut it and join it. If you make it exactly 826, it always ends up being a little bit smaller. So we're going to start with that. We'll cut this first one then at 824. Which is the in-between of the door jamb plus 7mm. Alright, so the skirting we're using is a 66mm wide by 11mm thick. And if we have a close look at it, you can see there's a beveled edge there as well. So we've got a square edge at the bottom, beveled edge there. What I want to do to cut this is I might actually spin it around. We're going to have it face down, and we've got that beveled edge towards me. So it was 824 that we're cutting that at, and we're going to be cutting that at 824, and because it's a top arc, we're going to have a miter on either side. Now, obviously for this, we're using the miter saw. We can spin that around for the miter, and if we were just to go through like this and cut it, that gives us a good miter for one side, but you're going to have a nightmare trying to hold your tape on that short point there and measure your 824. So I'll show you the next tip for this video, and this is what you're always going to want to do whenever you're cutting a piece that has a miter on either side. Firstly, we'll get rid of that miter. And what we want to do is add 100mm to the 824. I'm going to mark 100mm there, and then instead of 824 over here, we're going to do 924. And now we've got our 2 marks there, which is our 824 short to short between those 2 marks. And we can easily go through now and cut both of them without having to hold our tape on any short points. Cool. So there's our first piece for over the door. Let's go chuck this in. And I've just gone through with a combo square as well. I've done those marks on both sides. It might be a bit too hard to see over that old timber, but what I can do now is get this header. I can make sure it lines up perfectly there with that one, so I'm happy there. And I'm going to hold it in place, come over here, and we'll move it up. Just move it slightly, and we'll make sure it's good on both sides. And obviously what I'm doing is checking for height and for length. I've got that pencil line going that way, which is 3mm up from the bottom of the header. That's making sure that's the height, which is right. And then I've also got this pencil line going down that way, and I'm lining that one up with the inside of my miter. When that's done, I'm going to grab my fixing gun, and to start with, I just like going through and shooting the bottom of the architrave and shooting it just into the door jamb. So to get one there, make my way across. We've got about 4 nails in total. So that's pretty solid for now. Before we go through and shoot off the miters or shoot off the top, I want to go through and cut these 2 side pieces. These ones are going to be a lot easier. We've got finished floor down here, so I'm just going to butt my tape down into the floor and measure to that short point. So we've got 2058 for this side, and on this side, we'll go about 2060. Now just for the video, I'm breaking it up, and we've shot and cut this first one on. If I was actually doing this as a job, I'd go through, do those scribe marks in the corner, then I can measure from the floor to the mark, and I can get my side architraves as well at the same time. If you were doing an architrave in a window, what you do is just measure in between the window jamb and add that 7mm for both top and bottom, and then also for the sides. So no matter what you're doing, you can work out and just cut all your architraves at once, And if I was doing this as a proper job, that's how I do it. If you're doing a DIY project, that's when you might go through, just take your time, do one piece at a time, and now we can go out and cut these two. Another thing I'm going to do for both of these side architraves is just take a mill off. When we put it down onto the flooring, if there's a mill gap, that's going to be fine because we are going to go through and caulk our skirting boards and our architraves to the flooring. And you always just want to have that 1 mil gap so you can easily get it in there rather than having it really tight and potentially push that arc up. So cool, 2058 and 2060, let's go cut them. We are going from square to miter, so we don't have to worry about doing that 100 mil trick. And then we have to go the other way for the other side. And this one was 2058. Once again, when I'm cutting these, they're face down, and I've got that bevel, the short point on the inside facing me. Alright, so while you're here, it doesn't hurt just to quickly chuck them in place. Make sure your cuts are good, make sure they fit, and then we can have a look at both of these miters and see that they're perfect and we're happy with that. Now, one thing that I've known some carpenters do, and I highly recommend that you don't do this, is when you're cutting that miter, they might have the sawn bevel on a 1 degree bevel. And what that would do is while it's cutting that miter that way, the saw blade would slightly come in on an angle like that. That's over dramatic how I've marked it, but basically what it would do is cut off more from the bottom than the top. That means your tops of your architraves are definitely going to hit, and from the front face, your miters are going to look beautiful. It's going to work every single time. The downside to that though, is when you look up in this gap here, you won't have that hard to and tight. Look, if it is a tiny gap, you can get away with just painting over it, filling it, but I just feel like that's a little bit tacky, it's a bit cheap. So I always make sure that bevel is on 0 degrees in the miter saw when you're going through and cutting the miters. Alright, so before we shoot them on, I'm going to grab myself some PVA. I'm just going to chuck that in the miter there. Just a nice little line of it. And that's going to spread out when we push them together. Actually, another tip, this is something I don't do, but you can also go through with your combination square and do those 3 mil marks in a few places all the way down your door jamb. I've never done it that way though. I feel like once you get your top good, it's just easier to slide it down with the door jamb. So we've got the glue in there. I'm going to press it hard too. And you're going to see a little bit of it seep out. I'm just going to go back and forth a little bit. So I'm going to grab my gun, and at this point I'm only looking at that top miter. If we look down, you can see that's not following those marks. We'll ignore that for now. Just going to move that back and forth. The glue's pushed it out very slightly, but I'm just going to get that perfect, and then we'll do 1 nail following that door. So what we didn't do before was shoot the top of that, and that was intentional because what we want to do now is get that miter good, and now we can shoot the tops of both of these architraves. One thing you want to check for is to make sure that the plaster isn't sitting further back than your door jamb, and to find out if it is or if it isn't, you will see a gap behind the architrave. I'm just going to check that and even pressing them, because if that architrave was sitting forward a bit, if you go through and nail it and that plaster's further back, it's going to pull your arc back and it's going to screw up that miter. So I'm happy there. I'm just going to hold it in my hand, and now I'm going to go through and get a couple nails into that arc, holding it in place. With that done, that miter's not going to move, and I'm just going to go through now and we'll follow the door jamb down. And I'm just going to get the nails into the door jamb for now. Mate, it's okay. It's okay. Alright, so that's pretty solid. Now I'll go through and we're just going to shoot this off into the stud, which is behind the plaster. And one habit I've always done with architrave, and this comes back from when I was working and I had apprentices running around doing the skirts behind me, but I'd always shoot a couple nails at the bottom. Hey, it's okay. What I'd do is I'd shoot a couple nails at the bottom like that into the stud. And the reason for that is sometimes you get people going through doing the skirting board, and if they cut it a mil too long, push it up against your arc, it's going to knock the arc out slightly and just really screw up all the work you've done. So I do 2 nails at the bottom, and that means that even if that skirting board is a bit too big, it's not going to get knocked out. Alright, so same thing with the other side. we'll get a dab of PVA along there. You don't want to go too heavy. You want to make sure you've got some in there so it will spread and hold together. If you go too heavy though, it's going to firstly cause a bit of a gap in the mortar because there'll be too much in there that you can't push it hard to. And secondly, you have heaps of it seeping out. So that there is perfect. I'm really happy with that mortar. So what we're going to do, same thing, shoot into the door. You can even go down and shoot another one there. Happy there. And then we'll go through from there and we'll shoot that mortar off. I like doing 2 nails there into your door jamb, 2 at the top. And just to make sure that it's not going to move over time, I normally do another one there and another one there. What's up, mate? Mate, you're used to nail guns, mate. What's wrong with this one? This is bad for Pazzo. Crip is not a fan. I might need to go back to the battery tools, yeah? Should I use a Hikoki one? Would that make you happy? Crip wasn't happy, so we have to change to the Hikoki. But then we'll do the same thing. We'll follow down that door jamb. Once again, you're not happy with the sealer. You just want to play. You're making this up. You just want to play. Crip out. You also want to be very careful shooting these because it's got the bevel. So you got to shoot in a little bit, and you got to make sure you angle it into the door jamb. Oi, mate, I'm trying to talk now, okay? In a sec. You got to make sure you're angling it into the door jamb, but you don't want it to seep out and pierce out through the door jamb. So you want a very slight angle, if any. I think it is something that might happen once or twice if you do it. I think almost everyone, as an apprentice, has accidentally shot a nail and it's popped up through the door jamb. And I just want to say a quick thank you to any painter that had to go through and patch those holes after I did that. After a bit of experience, it's not happening now, and we'll just go through and shoot that off. Grip. Dude, I'm worried about your eyes, even though I'm here with our glasses on. From here, everything's installed. All we got to do is hit those miters with a sander. We'll sand that back a little bit, and then obviously you're going to go through, putty those nail holes up, and get to painting. Hope this helped. Thanks for watching.